Hi, Melissa Deely here, back with day 7 of my gut health series. So today I want to talk to you about some gut issues that are actually more common than you probably think. The first one that I want to talk about is leaky gut. And what that is if you think about the lining of your intestinal tract, which is literally one cell thick, it has walls, and when it's healthy, the lines of the walls are all held together. And so food can't get through and into your bloodstream as it's broken down as a normal part of digestion. But when it's unhealthy and it's leaky, we get little gaps in the walls so that tiny little particles of food do get into your bloodstream. And it's not only food that is getting into your bloodstream, it's toxins, it's antibiotics, it's parasites, fungus, all sorts of pathogens. And this is happening to people more and more often because in the stressed out world we live in, the health of our gut is breaking down. And leaky gut can be the result of a gut that just keeps breaking down and the symptoms are not being addressed. So there's other things that can cause leaky gut. For some people, it's eating gluten and dairy. And in fact, there is a protein in gluten called gliadin, which was developed in order to allow farmers to yield bigger crops during drought, but is actually causing little tiny microscopic tears in our intestinal lining every time we eat it. Now, that's fine. Our body is designed to heal. We get cuts on our fingers and toes and everywhere, and they heal. But if you're eating this 3 times a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, your body gets to a point where it can no longer keep up. And when it has other things going on, your liver is getting loaded down, you've maybe got bacterial overgrowth going on, it just can't keep healing. And so we get these openings and we get things into our bloodstream that we don't want. And what that does is that triggers our immune system, because the immune system's going, hey, what are you doing here? You're not meant to be here. And it fires up. It causes inflammation in the body as the body tries to look after this. And in addition to that, if it continues to go untreated, it can result in autoimmune disease. So autoimmune diseases are very often the result of having a leaky gut. It's also interesting to know, I've talked about the brain-gut connection before, that when the brain is concussed and we're looking at healing the brain, if we're not also looking at the gut, it's highly likely that person will end up with a leaky gut. There's also something called leaky brain. Same idea. We have a blood-brain barrier. And if our gut is really unhealthy, it can result in enough inflammation that we also have a leaky brain. None of these things are good. And if it's something that you're concerned that you might have, leaky gut will lead to symptoms of painful joints, tired, low energy, low libido, anxiety, brain fog, ADD, sleep issues, low vitality, migraines, and more. Now, of course, those could all be the result of something else as well, but looking at the health of your gut is a really great starting point. So moving on from leaky gut, I want to talk about parasites. I know it's kind of gross, but here's the reality. 1/3 of the world has parasites. And in fact, about 14% of the US has parasites, and many don't even know they have them. So again, it's more common than you think. And these parasites take up home in your gut and create a lovely environment for themselves, but to your detriment. And so it's something that we really need to be addressing, because they can trigger malabsorption. If your digestive system is no longer happy and you can't break down the food that you're eating properly, you can have malabsorption and not be getting the benefit of the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that you're eating. They can cause dehydration. They can cause anemia and lethargy. They can cause immune system elevation, again, because your body is switched on trying to help eradicate this parasite. as well as skin rashes and acne. Alongside parasites is another issue, which is bacterial overgrowth. Perhaps you've heard of SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And we have good bacteria in our gut and we have bad bacteria in our gut, and they're designed to live in balance. But sometimes when we do things like take antibiotics, birth control, many reasons or causes of killing off our good bacteria, poor sleep, high stress, the bad bacteria get to take over, and that's the overgrowth. Or when the bacteria from our colon gets back up into our small intestine, that can be the bacterial overgrowth. Again, causes all sorts of symptoms like skin rash, allergies, autoimmune disease, urinary tract infections, brain fog, learning difficulties, itchy bum, itchy vagina. So these are all symptoms that need to be addressed. And these are all things that we can heal from, and we can heal from holistically. Another one is yeast overgrowth. And the symptoms are very similar. And the way we treat them is also very similar. And what's interesting is the key to treating them successfully is to kill off their house, or what we call the biofilm. So when they take lodging in your gut, they create a nice little film around, like a little igloo, to protect themselves so they can stay safe. And we have to use herbal remedies that will actually break that down so that the remedy to kill off the pathogen can get through. And if we don't first break down their little shelter, we can't kill off that pathogen. So really important that we use a protocol that first breaks down their biofilm or their roof and then kills off the pathogen. And then we remove it from the body with an intestinal cleanse as well, because obviously we don't want all of that staying inside your body. We need it out so that you can fully regain your health and eradicate all the symptoms that you're dealing with. So I hope this is helpful to you. If you are concerned that this might be your gut issue because you've got something going on and you haven't pinpointed it yet, we can absolutely test for these things using functional medicine lab testing. And if you'd like to know more about that, feel free to go to my website, betterbrainhealth.info. You can book a session at the top, work with me. It's a 30-minute complimentary session to discuss what's going on for you and if I may be able to help you get to the bottom of your issues and guide you on your healing journey. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll be back in a couple days with the next edition of my Gut Health series.